Friday, the nation averted a federal government shutdown after the Senate passed a Republican-led measure to keep the government funded for the next 6 months. But could this be the year Minnesota has a state government shutdown? After last week's special election, the Minnesota House is tied. Moving forward, a bipartisan effort will be needed to pass bills and, most importantly, a balanced budget by the end of session on May 19th. Without a balanced budget, the state could shut down July 1st. My Talking Points conversation of the week on a possible state shutdown is with Professor Larry Jacobs. What do you see happening here? Because there's not a lot of agreement, and the margins are even narrower than they are at the federal level.
Yeah, the bottom line in Minnesota is that the House of Representatives is tied 67-67. That means that you've got to have bipartisanship. And so far, we've seen no sign of that. We've seen the Republicans, when they've had the chance, pushing an agenda that's pretty familiar from Donald Trump, including cutting back on the diversity, DEI programs and education, and other steps to cut back on spending. So it looks at this point that we have some very locked in partisan members of the Capitol who are not in the mood to compromise.
WCCO's YouTube channel. Somebody who has a say in avoiding a state shutdown is House Leader Jamie Long, and I want to say last week I did speak to Republican House Speaker Lisa Damath, who was a guest on this show. You completely disagree with Larry Jacobs, so go to it. I know you feel that a shutdown can be avoided.
Well, I agree with one thing he said, which is that so far we've seen only partisanship in the House, which was because...
Well, yes, I'm right over there. I mean, yes, absolutely. Right. I mean, how are you guys really going to be able to agree on a balanced budget by May 19th?
Well, I think so. So for the last month and a half, we've had a one vote advantage for the GOP, and they haven't used that to work in a bipartisan way with us. They've put up bills to roll back paid family medical leave, a shoot first bill. They've gone after reproductive rights. So these are partisan attacks. But now we're back to a tie. So I'm really hopeful that going forward, we're going to have co-chaired committees by Democrats, that we're going to be able to get to a budget. We do have a small surplus this year, so it shouldn't be that hard at our level to be continuing the budget.
And you've only had the power sharing agreement. It's only been tied for a few days. How's it going?
Well, Monday will be the day when we get our new member sworn in, and we're back
that's
to
right.
a
He
tie.
has been sworn in, yes.
But at that stage, we'll have a say in anything that goes to the floor. Everything will have to be bipartisan coming out of committee and going to the floor.
Talking about the budget, the governor has a proposal with some novel ideas. He's talking about actually reducing the sales tax and expanding who would be affected by the tax. Like, for instance, right now, accountants are not, but they would be under this, so that allows him to cut that. What do you think of that idea?
Well, I think that if we're looking into the long term, 3-4 years down the road, then we are seeing some signs that we're seeing growth in certain areas, mainly human services for the elderly. And so we are going to probably need to look at some new revenue to be able to keep those programs. But I think the biggest risk that we're facing right now is from the federal government and Medicaid cuts. Those could affect 1/6 of the state budget. And right now, we could see that coming in the fall and putting a $1.5 billion hole per year in our budget.
Yeah. So you've got to get this balanced budget by May 19th. Otherwise, the government shuts down or you go into special section. You don't know whether or not you're going to have a $1.5 billion hole in the budget. Right. I mean, the governor presented that. I mean, that really is an impossible situation.
It is. Medicaid covers 1 in 4 Minnesotans, 40% of Minnesota kids. These are really important programs that provide health care for a huge number of kids and families. But right now, congressional Republicans are saying that they're going to cut that back. And if you took the number that they're talking about now, that would be $1.5 billion a year. A few of my Republican colleagues have spoken up, but so far we've heard nothing from GOP House leadership, which I think it should be on them to talk to
There was
congressional
that Republican letter from
right?
several legislators that did go to the Republican members of Congress. I do want to ask you, clearly, one of the themes of this session is Republicans want to dismantle some of the enormous achievements that occurred in 2023 that Republicans really don't like. A lot of people may not like, but things like paid family leave, undocumented rights, driver's license for the undocumented, cooperating with ICE, they want a bill with that. What is that? I mean, and you folks are holding the line, but can you preserve all of those big spending bills that you passed in 2023? Most notably, paid family leave is one of the big ones that really stands out to me.
Well, that was one of the most important accomplishments of our last session. We have 80% of working Minnesotans who don't have access to paid leave right now. That's 2.5 million workers. So that's for things like bonding with a new child, taking care of a parent who may be dying, if you yourself have a long-term injury. These are really important time to care that Minnesotans want access to. It's going into effect in 2026 in January. We're on track to have a successful rollout.
9 months away.
That's right. So we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that that program goes into effect because Minnesotans need it.
And do you think you can hold the line on some of these other things that you were able to pass?
We do. Right now we have a small surplus. We're not going to be likely able to agree on new revenue to help with some of the long-term programs. The Republicans have made that pretty clear. So I think that at this stage we should have a budget that pretty much, I think, continues the work that we've done, and we shouldn't go after the popular programs like paid leave.
All right. Thank you so much, Jamie Long. We really appreciate your coming in here.
Thank you, Esme.